welcome back. As promised, I was able to get Lee to stick around, so I've got Lee and Gif from Skin Deep. So I'm just going to jump right in.
Do it.
I'm just going to jump right in.
Do it.
So,
nothing's off limits.
So,
almost nothing.
Almost nothing. My big question, or the thing I think people always want to know, especially, we've got a lot of newer bands. Even if they're not newer musicians, we do have a lot of newer bands. 34 years in, right? You do add new songs. I want to talk about how we get to that in a minute.
Right.
But what is it that makes it so that when Skin Deep plays a show, everyone is going? And they may have gone the week before. They may have gone to the same venue a month before. You have a pseudo rotation, but it doesn't matter. As soon as it gets posted, and it's normally a Lee who I see it from. But as soon as
I don't post it. Jamie takes care of all this.
Oh, so
Jamie actually manages.
As soon as it gets posted, you're going to fill the place. Like I said, post time this weekend, Deanna literally said, my biggest concern was if it rained, I couldn't get everybody inside. What were we going to do?
Yeah.
What's the secret?
There's a X factor. There's a secret sauce. I mean, obviously, there's things that everybody's doing, that we're all doing. A song list that you can actually play.
Oh yeah.
And good vocals and good musicianship and good social media marketing, and there's all the kind of the perfect storm of all of those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, as you said, we've been together a long time. There's a chemistry between us.
No, there is. There's no doubt.
And that's not something that you can fake.
No.
Or willfully. We get along, and
never drama or anything.
There's never any drama. Well, not only that, but I think if we were not in a band together, we'd still be.
Absolutely.
We'd still be dirty old men together. I mean, it's like.
And I've seen you guys hanging out outside of the band before. Yeah, I mean, I've run into you guys having lunch together for whatever reason, or you guys do hang out.
Yeah.
Dave, I think it's as basic. It's as basic as I know. A lot of bands don't have the extensive song list that we do. I got that. That's just a time.
34 years.
That's a time thing, and that's a work thing, and there's just you just do it.
So
right?
if you're a new band starting out, I think the most important thing is we had a shitload of people come back on Saturday from Friday.
Yeah.
Because it's become known now that Billy does the set. Everybody has their jobs. Billy does the set list, and he said Saturday night was 70 to 80% different songs than Friday. And we don't know. I don't know that until literally I show up to the first set and I look down. I go, here's what we're playing.
Right.
And we know that we'll go, okay, so I can run these. I basically, from behind, I'm the quarterback running the songs. Boom, boom, boom. We'll take a break, take a drink of water, do a shot. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody kind of feels that, and that's just with time. But my advice would be is that don't play the same openers, the same closers, the same songs in every order every single night. Because it gets old, and if they've seen you a couple times, like, oh, I've heard people saying, oh, I know what they're going to play next. I know what they're going to play next. I know what they're going to play next. Even if you're not learning the songs as many and you don't have as big of set list to choose from, change them up. Find things that are great openers. We talk about, we'll say, hey, we need a song with just a great opener. We don't care what set it's in. Find something that's going to be a powerful opener. Find a great closer. We can use those in different areas.
Yeah, and this is probably slightly controversial. I agree the musicianship is top notch with a lot of bands, especially you guys,
Sure.
right? I have gone to clubs, watched a band, and thought, they're not good. They're not good. And I will still have a manager or a club owner or 20 people come up and tell me, aren't they amazing? They're awesome. I don't think everybody knows when the music is right. I think when you go to a band like Skin Deep or a Crash Rocket or a Rockafly or a Torn or whatever,
right,
you hear it and obviously it's a step above, and you, as a non-musician, you may not know why, you really like it, but I think the chemistry on stage and the friendliness in how you deal with the crowd is probably a big part of that.
The step above will not get it done, ultimately. What you said is true. The energy on stage, the ability to, pardon the expression, but the ability to pound the audience.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come to hear you talk between songs.
Well, except for me.
Well, everybody wants to hear you.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, so if there is a pause or hopefully not an awkward pause, but if there's a pause between songs, that's 30 seconds that people have to walk off the dance floor.
Agreed.
Well, David,
That's, you know, and that's not gonna sell. That's not gonna keep the waitresses tipped, the register ringing at the bar. It's not gonna do it. And so you'll see us. We'll pound you with 3 songs, 4 songs before we stop.
and when we pause,
you know,
it's because you need a drink.
I need a drink.
We need to order a
We're
shot.
gonna talk about something. We're about to do a
Right.
slow song. We're gonna, you know, I mean, and so
change
it's
guitars, whatever
it's
the case may be, and we know that
It's a
just
pacing.
from.
It's a pacing thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and you do see a lot of bands that play a song and they stop. And then there's 15, 20, maybe even a minute that go by.
What are we doing?
And in the meantime,
Right.
the
What are we
crowd
doing?
walks
That's
away.
a good point.
What are we doing?
I saw a band recently. They discussed what
Right.
songs they're going to play in between songs.
Yeah, see, I don't
Right.
think you can do that.
You can't.
Even radio station environment. What do we call that? We call that dead air.
Dead air. Yeah,
Why is there dead air?
right.
What are we doing?
Right. And I think it also says something that people know who you guys are individually. I always find that when I look at a band's following, if there's a good band, but nobody knows them individually, they just know that this band is good. To me, it's like they don't have a personal connection with the members, right? When someone talks about a Skin Deep show, and a lot of bands, I'm using you as an example because you're here, when they talk about a Skin Deep show, they'll say, oh, I love going out in the way Lee does Rosanna. Oh, I love the new, they did amazing, and Gif's vocals were incredible. Oh, Jamie does this
That's
thing
you
on
that
the
say
keys.
that, but that's okay.
usually
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
it really usually is. Yeah. So jealousy's hard, isn't it? You see, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you see what I'm saying? When they know the individual members of the band, it almost seems like they're more likely to go see the band because they feel like it's more than going to hear good music. There's a connection there.
Right.
They're part of. I don't remember which band did it, but one of the bands always says the blank band family, right? Like their crowd is part of them, and I think you guys have that. You know, I see you talking to the crowd. You're, get off stage talking to the crowd.
I mean, you know, in as much as, I mean, for me as a vocalist, I have to take a break.
Yeah.
And a break means stop singing, but also stop talking.
Right.
It doesn't do me any good actually it does me quite a bit bad, actually, for me to sing an hour show, whether I'm singing lead or singing backups for other people that are singing, and then come off stage and shout at you while there's loud DJ
yeah.
going on. That does me zero good, you know.
But it's not a break.
And it's not a break, exactly. But yeah, I mean,
You almost don't get a choice.
the rest of the guys are really great at kind of, networking and talking to people and getting to know our audience. I mean, it's a relationship. It's a two-way street, and we have always valued that relationship.
And people have come to see us for 30 years. There are people.
Right.
We
There
saw
are
you in the
some.
Townsend's days.
We saw you at Townsend's Fish House in 1988, and I met my wife there. And
We get those stories.
I was
This
like,
is great.
Oh my gosh! Holy crap! Am I old? Why am I still doing this?
Right.
But
I don't think my singer was born in '88. You know that? Like, I'm not even sure what her birthday is, but I don't
But
know.
the other thing that helps, Dave, is that it's, we everybody can play the songs. I mean, most bands can play a song. And I see bands playing songs just as well as we do, or better. But what they lack in is one thing that really helps us is that we have, in my opinion, 2 of the best singers around here. And so they don't have to sing the entire night, which means Gif's not singing 40 songs a night.
Right.
He's singing 15.
And neither is Billy.
And Billy's singing 15. So you can sing 15 songs way better 2 nights
Well, it just means
each.
that you can bring your best game to every
Yes,
song. That
exactly.
You can push.
And then I'll sing some, and Jamie sings some, and so
And not be in fear that you won't be able to sing the rest of the show
Right, because you didn't blow your voice out.
because you gave it all for the Whitesnake.
Right, and
know
you
what I
guys
mean?
have a lot of heavy hitters for you and Bill.
yeah, for both of us. We're out kind of in some cases out on the bleeding edge
of their range,
capability.
trying to do it.
And that's it's an enviable position to be in.
Yeah. High pressure but high reward.
High pressure, high reward, and is possible because I got Billy Denny in the band,
Right.
and he has me. And
there's been times that one of them aren't doing that great, and so Billy says, "I'll sing your song for you,"
yeah.
or Gif says,
Or
"I'll
vice
take
versa.
that for you."
Oh, I can sing faithfully, no problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
and the other piece of that too is that in terms of song selection, and we talk about oh my God, the lead singer part is so, whatever it is. But in many cases, the background vocals that support that are as
More important.
or more important.
That's what gives it the power.
And that's what gives it the punch or the power. It's not Dave Coverdale singing where he is. It's the guy that's singing up
Well, like
there above,
Deanna said to me, she called me the other day, and she goes, "I was disappointed you guys didn't play Girl Can't Help It on Saturday." Well, we just have so many songs. Again, we try to
now
change
you can't
it.
do it. Yeah.
We played Girl Can't Help It on Friday.
Yeah.
But Girl Can't Help It is one of those songs which Billy nails, lead vocal wise. But the main part of that song is that when you can sing those, we have 5 voices going. I don't know if maybe 4. I don't know if Steve
4.
sings on that, but 4 voices going, and the harmonies. We've worked on that for years. It's
massive.
really, really good. It's not easy. I mean, that to me, people say, "Wow." I mean, you can hear 4, and luckily we've had good sound men, and they blend the vocals because it doesn't. And that's the other point of it. If you're running sound on stage, I get it. You're probably doing it to make the money, and I understand. No question. We don't do it for the money. So we like to have a guy like Joey Jerry or Gino or Gino Fontana or Carl Tucker. Those guys are running sound for us, and they know that I'm singing falsetto that part. Lee's voice has to go up a little bit more.
Right, they
He's
know
singing
you.
natural voice. They know. And because I'm singing falsetto, then Gino knows that I'm the voice of the band. So when the song's over, he has an idea I'm going to yell. He's going to turn me down or gate me out or something.
I got you.
So there's a lot of mechanics that go into it.
And no, talking about that, so you guys have a light person
Yes.
and you have a sound person.
And we oftentimes have 4 guys.
Okay, so I know you have light and sound.
Dave Himes does lights most places. He's phenomenal.
Okay.
Then we have Carl Tucker, who's sound or lights, but he runs a follow spot sometimes. So we have a follow spot. And Gino's sound, and we have a road crew, Mike Odom, who helps us with the loading. Because look, we're all getting older.
No, I'm with you. So
And we're not loading in and loading out shit. And Gino is getting older, and we're all getting older, so they need help.
And my point to that was, you guys aren't making that much money individually to play shows.
No.
Because you're really I'd imagine the bulk of it is going to the crew.
There's a significant.
They make
amount
more than we do.
That goes.
That's
that
what
goes
I
to our
would think.
production.
Yeah.
That's what I would think, which it's also good that, and I think a lot of the bands are getting in this position where they're just doing it because they want to do it. It's just fun. And so you don't have to worry about, well, I need to make $100 a gig. Like, I'd rather make, $50 a gig and I'm just going to pick up my sticks, play my drums and leave.
We could do sound. We have great equipment.
I know you do.
And that helps. We could do sound on stage because Steve Lapine can do that. He knows how to run it. But and we could make a lot more money individually, but then we'd have to hump all this shit
Yeah.
every Friday.
And you have a big setup and a big teardown.
And you know what?
It's as big as everybody else's is.
I think it's more than that.
And it may be
That's what
more
she
in some
said.
I mean,
cases. But,
you've got a big light show. If you were doing it yourself, you've got a big light show.
Yeah, I wouldn't do
You've got a
lights.
larger PA.
Yeah.
You do run a larger PA, and you guys have a lot of stuff on stage. A lot. I mean, Jamie's got his whole
Jamie's had big
multi-tower rig and the keytar. Right, so he's got a big rig. Your drum kits aren't small.
Yeah.
3 tom, 1 or 2 floor. Like your kits are larger, and sometimes
everyone-
you're on your own. riser.
Everyone else, myself, Billy, and Steve, we're all line 6.
Pause.
We're all line 6.
So you just grab your pedal and walk out the front door.
You grab your pedal, you grab your thing. I'm in a rack, but it's the same deal. We've all been pretty compact for a while.
Because we're trying to eliminate sound on stage too.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
But that's more about stage volume than it is humping gear.
Right, but I mean, how long does it take you to? I remember coming to see you at Post Time, loading into a gig a number of years ago, and you were there in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because you were going to load that stuff in with the crew, and it was going to be a 4-hour endeavor by the time you guys were done.
It does take a while. That's why we add the 3rd or the 4th crew member. I mean, this past weekend, we had 4 guys at Post Time. At Dexter's, we're going to have Dave's going to set the lights up, and we're going to run them auto. But we need the guys to help in and out.
Right, sure.
Or else we're there till 3:30 in the morning.
Well, plus part
And
of
I'm not doing that.
I haven't talked about this with my band, but one of the things that makes a Skin Deep show or a Crash Rocket show or a Rocket Fly show, etc., the step above a lot of other shows is the production. Hypersona is great at that.
Sure.
Hypersona has a ridiculous production. Like,
TV
I think
screens and all that.
all that, but I think, and again, Skin Deep, Crash Rocket, any of you guys, I think if you took away that element of it, it'd knock the show down a little bit, because part of the experience for the crowd is the whole stage goes black and on comes the spot on Billy.
Yeah.
And then when the whole band kicks in, it's a massive of lights that drive in, and there's just enough haze or fog in there that you're getting beams out of the lights.
It's an arena show in a club.
And I think to the people who, again, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think a third of the people come to see a band because they like the music, they want to hear the music, and you guys, whoever the band is, play the music the way they want to hear it. I think a third of the people go to that show because they like the music, but they really like you. They like Lee, they like Gif, they like Billy, they like Jamie, they've met you, there's a connection there, they like you, and they're going to see their friends in this band play the show. And I think a third of the people go there for the overall experience of what it is. I mean, when you guys, I'm not a classic rock guy, but that Kansas song you guys start, no, it Sticks. Can't believe you finally found me. What's the name of that song?
Renegade.
Renegade. When you guys start that song with
Acapella.
just the acapella, but the lights are adjusted.
Yep.
It's a very it's a production start, right? Like that song is just as much about the show as it is about what you're doing.
Right.
And so I think, and that's where it gets hard for a lot of bands, including my own, because you'd almost have to say, we're not going to make any money for a while. And we're going to put the money into the crew. We're going to put the money into the...
And truth be told, that's exactly what we did. I mean,
right.
You know, as we, you know, when there was a hiatus along about the 2000s where...
That's when I got in a car accident.
You know,
kind of.
Lee got laid up. And this was, you know, I'd been gone from the band for a while too. And so really along about 2009 or so, is, you know, you think about us, we were starting over.
Right.
We were.
Right.
We were still, you know, I mean, you know, Skin Deep hadn't done a gig in 7-8 years.
Yeah, that's a brand new start.
That's a brand new start. I'm
That's a
sorry,
brand
it
new
just
start.
is.
Yeah.
Right? So, and we looked at each other, you know, knowing how the sausage is made.
Yep.
And actually, when it
looked at each
restarted,
other.
you weren't original
That's true.
because
That's
we
true.
had somebody. And then finally we said, you know what? Let's get Gif back. Me and Billy said, let's get Gif back. And then Gif said, I'm in. So it was great.
But you did. You started over, and you were saying you made
So
the conscientious decision.
it started over, and you know, we looked at each other and made a conscientious decision. Said, you know what? I don't really care if we make any money. There are these minimums that have to be met in terms of, look, if we're going to do this, I don't want to do this half baked.
Right.
I don't want to go out.
I want to
there
sound good.
and I want to sound
Right.
good.
Oh yeah.
I want to sound. You know, when you hit the kick drum, I want to feel that junk. I want to hear that slapping back off the back wall.
I want to hear the delay
I want to hear
cues.
those delay cues. I want somebody running that junk.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you know, hey, come on, you know, I'm 50-something years old. I got no business loading gear out at 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
No.
on Sunday morning. Are you kidding me? You know.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
We've all got
and luckily you
health
guys
concerns and,
Sure.
and families at home too and stuff. So there's a window.
and you're in career positions outside of the band where you can say, you know what, this is my hobby. I'm just going to play to play.
This is my fishing.
I'm
This
gonna-
is my golf game.
Exactly.
This is whatever it is.
I'm going to
but
play to
it's-
play, and the heck with it. You know,
I spend multiples in equipment of what I make playing
Yes.
in a band. Multiples.
Yes. So I run our band, and my band is my tax write-off to cover what I make at my day job.
Yeah.
I lose money every single year.
Well, you can only do this so many times, and then
I
you
know
have to
I'm
make a little
closing
profit.
in. I know I'm closing in. I
I
haven't
think I
made
didn't make a
profit
profit last
too
year.
long. But you know, I use it. You know, by the time you pay equipment, by the time you pay marketing, by the time you pay whatever you've got, it's not a money endeavor. But a lot of bands are playing for the cash. You know, that's their job.
And
that's what
their
they
job.
do.
I get
Don't
it.
misunderstand me. I mean, I 100% respect that. I just know that for us and for where we are and what we wanted to do, what we have done, that's been our approach.
Yeah, and I think it works.
And-
It's proving true with you. It's proving true with Rocketfly. It's proving true with Crash Rocket. You know, now Crash Rocket, unless they've changed things, I give them credit because they still hump their own stuff. Glenn and Brian run that stuff.
Great.
They move it in and out. They
Good for
and
them.
It's
Yeah.
big gear. You're where I am. I agree.
Good for
You know,
them.
And Ryan. So we have what I call the child care tax credit in our band. We've got Ryan, who is under 40. We have Dana, who's significantly under 40. Tyler, her husband, helps run sound out front and is kind of my drum roadie, even though he doesn't have to be. Like half the time I turn around, I go outside to get my cases. I come in, my kit's on the ground, all done, like ready to load. Like he's awesome. But I have younger guys where like Ryan's moving our PA.
Right.
Ryan's 38, I think, like
Right.
usually whatever, and we have light powered gear, whatever. But I've thought about the same thing. Like, is it worth, even if we didn't get roadies to load us in or out, is it worth it to get the crew to do the lights and help Ryan with the sound and put on the full production? I think for some bands, that's their next step to go from I really like seeing them to I'm going to see them, is by putting it in. And what we've done, by the way, which I envy your position and how the crew sets up the gear. I've just scaled back how heavy my stuff is. Like a lot of clubs now, and I should back this up to a Skin Deep thing. You guys are at a tier where certain things don't matter for you. A club owner is more than likely not coming up to Skin Deep and saying, you're kind of loud.
They're not ragging us.
No.
Right.
We still play electronic drums at a lot of clubs because they will come up and say, you guys got to turn down. And we had to be volume knob adjustable, and I'm the bottom of the volume.
A great example.
Right, yeah.
A great example is Cafe Murano. All right.
Yes.
We played there for many years, and then after we got their DJ equipment stolen, from when our trailer got stolen.
I remember that.
We used to. We loved playing there, but we used to move their big coffin DJ stuff.
I remember
in
in
our
your
trailer.
trailer.
And it was in the parking lot of the Altamont Mall. Well, then, how many years ago,
They stole it.
Our trailer got stolen.
I remember.
With their DJ equipment. That was kind of the end of our Cafe Murano stint for a while.
Yeah, they weren't too
So,
happy with us.
but the owner loves us, and Trent, the manager, I
He's
love
great.
Trent. He's a great guy, but he's a restaurant guy, and he always told me, he goes, Lee, I'm a restaurant guy. You guys come in here, you turn us into a rock show. So then Trent, all of a sudden said, well, we can make it a rock show a few times a year, and people know. And they understand.
He sets the expectation
He does.
ahead of time. With
He does, and he's
with
awesome.
the customers and clients. Look, Skin Deep's coming in here next weekend.
So you're not going to be able to eat and talk at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Don't talk to me about how loud it is because we're just not
'Cause
going
it's
to
gonna
care.
be loud.
Because it's going to be loud. They are who they are, and
But you can do that because you have the following that will come and make the restaurant their money, so that
believe
it's
so.
all about that register ringing. I think
Yeah.
it was John at Dexter's, I believe, who said to me, "Look, we're a 3X bar.
Yeah.
If the band's $1,000,
You gotta make-
we
you
need to
gotta bring
make
in
$3
three.
grand. Like we're a 3X bar."
that's a pretty standard formula for pretty much anywhere.
Which is one of the reasons I want to bring some club owners on the show. I want Deanna to come do it. I want Chuck from the Oasis to come do it. I want John from Dexter's to come do it. I've even talked about
Chris Johnson from the Alley. He'd be
Chris
good.
Johnson
He'd
from
be
the
great.
Alley to come do it. Yeah. Like, I think having once a month a venue owner on to say, look, here's my side of the equation, right? Because you hear from bands a lot, especially the newer bands. They're like, oh, the club owners are a pain in the neck. I market for some bars. They will tell you the bands are a pain in the neck because they've got to deal with the flip side of it, right? So I think it would be interesting to get a club owner on and let people
I
understand.
think there's a
that,
balance to be achieved. I think there's a
There is.
detente that we can.
And there's courteous things that a
come
band
to.
can do. A band can, if you are getting a bunch of drinks, I know that we tip.
Yeah,
So
we do too.
we tip, and we tip.
do.
I would say that we tip very well. So some bands may not tip. Some bands, may not, tabs and all that kind of stuff. We're pretty easy to deal with. They understand, hey, it may take a little longer to get out, may take a little longer to get set up, but you're going to get in there, get a great quality, and people are going to come in. And our crowd, which is different, and a lot of the people, I'm amazed that, I'm a money manager. That's what I do. And every night, I have tons of my clients in there. And they are high net worth, high dollar people. So we have been told from everywhere we play that our crowd tips and they buy top shelf stuff. They're not draft beer drinkers. And that's what we pride ourselves on. So anywhere we go, they're going to be...
So basically, our audience are a bunch of drunks.
Right.
That have money.
That's fine, but they have money.
Yes.
So that's fine. And
That's
the bar,
important.
and they're ringing the register.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
the bar, so you can get away with walking into a club and saying, "This is what it is." Like
Well,
you're
it's just
hiring.
not. I mean,
Skin
it's
Deep,
not
this is
really.
what
We're
you're
not trying to get away with anything. It's
No.
just kind of we've been around long enough to know that people like Chris Johnson at the Alley.
They were
or
nice.
Deanna at the Post Time.
You are nice.
They're not assholes.
I should say, instead of getting away with it, I should say that Skin Deep is a product. It is a product.
They know what they're buying.
Right. You
They know what
buy
they're
a
buying.
product, you know what you're getting, and in your
And
case,
they know what
you're
that
at the-
outcome's going to be at the end
Exactly.
of the weekend.
And you're at a stature that you can say to the venue, "This is the product you're buying. You should expect this, and if that doesn't work, you don't need a Skin Deep. You need another product."
You need another product.
And you
Yeah.
realize, I don't know if you know this, but if somebody comes out and says, hey, how much do you charge? Everybody is the same. Every club we play at is the same amount of money because we've been playing at Mike's Place or Dexter for many years. Why would I want to charge this guy, give him a break over here for the first time in? I said, wait a minute. Mike's been paying us the same, whatever the money is,
sure,
for a period of time. And when we raise our prices, which we are going to do, I've already let people, we have to raise our prices next year. We haven't raised our prices in 3 years because the pandemic we felt bad, we slowed down.
Sure.
We got to raise our prices because our costs are up. So next year.
Actually, the first couple when we were back, sorry to interrupt you, but the first couple when we were back, I thought we
actually gave some of them a break because it was 50% capacity.
Right, understood.
So we gave them a break.
Sure.
But they hook us up, though. They'll say, okay, we'll give you some booze or whatever. So next year, everybody's going up at the same price because I'm not going to charge somebody less than my friend Mike Pinter or Chris Johnson or John Huffon. It's not fair. Or John Forrest at Cafe Marron. They're all going to be the same. And in fact, we'll do, and anybody who sees us knows we're not set on a set. Our first set could be an hour and a half.
Right.
If the crowd's there,
right,
we'll play it. If they say end at 12:30, we can play till 1 o'clock. We don't care.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
Or if they say get out at 12:30, we want to go home, we get out at 12:30.
We're out at 12:30, but we always do extra. We go over and beyond the Call of Duty. We try to.
Yeah, and again, I think all of this, it's that fine line balance where the bands get to make the decisions on, no, we're doing this for the money, so we can't afford to do this yet. We're going to do this, and we're going to build into it. Other bands that are bigger, like, this is good food for thought. Is it worth? You're going to hit a tier. I'm going to get in trouble for this too. There's a tier of bands in town. Always has been. There's the Rocketfly, Skin Deep, Crash Rocket, My Gen. That's here. You're established. You're the number ones. You've got the show. You've got the songs. You've got the production. You've got the musical ability.
I like the word you used before, the product.
Yeah, that's the product. The next tier down, which is kind of where I feel Midnight Mayhem is sitting, and there's a bunch of us. You either have to decide you're going to take that step and go and try and be the bigger product and bring in the light show and the crew to kind of help you accomplish that, or you have to decide, you know what, my product is this, and I'm perfectly happy staying where I'm at. And for some bands, that's a money decision. For some bands, that's a time decision. 34 years in, you guys have had the luxury of putting that together. And I think it's important for a lot of bands don't realize when they hear Rocketfly is playing here and, ooh, Rocketfly gets this much money. Or Skin Deep is playing and they pay them this much money. Yes, but their product is a 6-piece thing and they're paying these costs to get you that product. And they have to be paid that amount of money.
And chances are, on a man-to-man basis,
you're probably less.
Personally,
making less.
And probably making less.
I'll bet you. Yeah. And that's an interesting conundrum for a band to work itself through, because you've almost got to, A, you've got to want to do it for yourself, and B, you've got to be willing to take the gamble that it will or won't work.
So my thing is that, okay, so we made less money, and since we do this for fun, it's not a job. Did you have fun Friday and Saturday night?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
We had a great time.
A gazillion people out there yelling and screaming with us. The place was packed.
This is what I'm looking for right here. When I look out from my microphone right here, I'm looking for this.
We're going to slow down. We're getting older. We're going to be, next weekend we'll probably play some less weekends. At some point, there's going to be, we have a shelf life. Gif said this all the time. We have a shelf life. And at some point, we may be, hey, we're going to play once a quarter. But no, now we have some young blood in the band, Steve Lapine, who's been a great addition. And this guy has really kind of energized us a little bit. We brought in some new stuff, a few different pieces to the puzzle. And it's been great, and he's given us all a little bit of energy, so that's good.
And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. So your band, like my band, like a lot of bands, I think is a sum of its parts. You guys being together as long as you have, you each have your own following to a degree, right? There are people who come to the show to see Gif sing Oh Sherry or Rosanna, and they come to the show to see you play this song or do your between song antics, or they have, you each have your own following, right? And I thought it was incredible that you were able to swap that guitar part out, and this is really a compliment to Steve, but that someone could slide into that band and almost do the Van Hagar thing. Like, it, not only do I not, and I think Angelo was great. I think Scotty was great.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
you're replacing guys who are top notch,
yeah.
But not only do you have to hit that bar of who you're replacing, you have to win the crowd over, because some of them will be upset that you no longer have A, B, C, or D.
Right.
You have to win the crowd over. You have to musically rise to the level of the band you're joining, which isn't a small feat when you're joining a band that's been around like that. And then you have to contribute something, so you are now part of the whole and not simply the guy on
Steve
guitar.
Lapine exceeded our expectations.
Steve was really the perfect storm of all of those.
He's
factors.
he's incredible to watch.
He from being a killer bandmate.
That's
really
even more important.
Fit
Great
in.
player.
He fit in from the get-go. He came into the audition within 30 seconds of him plugging his guitar in. We were playing Rosanna, and it was. It was like I looked at him.
He was prepared.
45 seconds into the song, I looked at him and I said, "I'm good.
We're good."
Dave.
You know, it was that good, and you can't really attribute that to anything more than just circumstance, God,
Preparation.
fate, whatever you want to call it. But he was the right guy. It was the cosmic yes.
And it's the combination of exactly what you said. It's preparation and then the personality and the human fitting in with the whole.
He's a good fit on stage, and he's got the young attitude.
He's a good fit off stage too.
A great fit off stage, a great hang. I mean, he plays unbelievable. He cares about his equipment, so he's always got a great sound. So he's got everything. First of all, a couple elements to playing a band. You got to be talented, okay?
Right? Of
Which
course.
he is. Then you have to have great equipment, in my opinion. Yes, anybody can play a piece of shit drum set or a piece of shit guitar, but will it sound top notch? Probably not.
Right.
And then he's got a great attitude, and most importantly, we did a rehearsal. We don't rehearse that often, but only to learn new songs. We rehearsed, and we learned 4 not easy songs, and Don, he was prepared. All of us were prepared, ready to go. And
Yeah,
we
you
played
learned
them
it
out.
before practice, so practice was just to lock it down.
That's all it
was
was.
to lock it
Yeah,
down.
understood.
Get the endings, beginnings, middles.
And again, I think first of all, by the way, I think he's also into motocross.
Used to be.
He was, until
So
I think he got injured.
One
Blew
of
his
my
knee out.
clients that I do work for is a big motocross company, and I posted a video of you guys, and one of their guys hit me up and like, that guy is this guy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I think
There's
he
some pretty
blew
cool
his knees
pictures
out or
of him.
something.
I think it was one of those things. He aged out of it.
Well, I mean, you see that bike 25 feet above the ground, you're
Yeah.
gonna age out of that.
Yeah.
Like, you're eventually gravity's
Yeah,
gonna
you
win.
probably should.
And the other
Right.
benefit is,
You know.
Dave, we pay him in Canadian dollars, which is really good
Oh,
for
that's
us.
the way to. I'm gonna try that.
So the exchange rate works for
Canadian,
us, too.
That
that's
joke
awesome.
never gets old.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think the lineup is fantastic. I don't believe the shelf life thing for a minute. I mean, you just did a show at Post Time where you were over the top. You added In the Still of the Night. You added Let's Go Crazy. You added My Own Worst Enemy. You added Sex on Fire, Kings of Leon. You just added
Triumph,
Magic Power.
Power.
You just added. Is it called Amazed or Amazing? That song.
Maybe I'm amazed.
Maybe I'm Amazed.
by
Like
Paul McCartney.
you're still adding these tunes and putting them out with the same high energy they would get anywhere else. Like, I don't see, other than the load in and the load out, which is what's going to kill me eventually, I don't see this shelf life thing.
The process is the hard part. I mean, as far as picking the song.
That's the only thing we argue about.
That's the only thing. We have 5 different opinions on what songs to play.
So how do you pick them?
All right, so we tried to formula this last time. Okay. Because it's a nightmare, right? So here's what we did.
It is a
I said,
unmitigated
we're
nightmare.
looking for a showstopper, a dance song, a classic rock song, and an other. 4 categories. Everybody had to pick a song in each one of those categories and label them 5 to 1, 5 being the highest, bum,
Yeah.
bum, 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 bum. And we did mathematics.
There's
Done.
a whole spreadsheet
Oh, yeah.
going on and ranking.
We're trying to figure out the best way. If anybody can help us with that, please come up with the best way to pick songs because I'll pick a song. Oh, he didn't like it. He didn't like it. Oh, he likes it, but he didn't like
So
it.
you
I'll
won't
quit
like-
the band first before I play that freaking.
You won't like our way.
Yeah.
You won't like our way. But I go to the band and say, okay, we need dance songs. Now, I am in my band the final arbiter because I honestly think not having a 34-year relationship with everybody, being a newer band, somebody has to say,
Yeah,
I'm the decision maker.
It's a
But
benign- it's a
not
benign
that you would do that.
dictatorship.
Exactly. Not that you would ever do that. But the first thing I do is I check on YouTube and I see how many views this thing has had. If it's had 300 million views and the song is that popular, then it's in the running even if I don't agree with it because 300 million other people agree with it, so be it.
Right.
And then we give every song 3 clubs, 1 play a piece. If it doesn't work, it's out.
Good.
And we just move on. And I have picked songs for the band and been like, we're doing this. And they have been epic flops. But we have picked songs that we never would have thought would work.
Same
Ever in a million
Same here.
years.
Yeah.
Like Ryan sings Despacito by Luis
Yeah.
Fonsi and Justin Bieber. He
Jeez.
does it in Spanish. Doesn't know Spanish. Does
Right,
it in
I think I heard you
Spanish.
say that.
And the crowd loves it. To this, like we play
We
it
do.
almost every time because everybody loves it. Like And we picked
First
other
of all,
songs that were like, they're going to
the
love it.
balls
and
are
they
trying to do a song in Spanish when they don't know Spanish. That's impressive. As
Ryan is, he's a bulldozer. Like,
No,
there
he's
is nothing you can
very
give
talented.
Ryan to do that Ryan will say to you, yeah, we can't.
That's
Ryan
incredible.
he will do anything you throw over the wall. Now, he gives me the, Ryan, we're going to do this. And he's like, okay.
You get the fuzzy eyeball.
But oh yeah, but there is nothing you can hand Ryan on a sound level, on a guitar level, on a vocal level that Ryan cannot sit down and pull off every single time.
Yeah.
Now we're adding some stuff because Josue in our band never picks a song. He has nothing to say, never picks a song.
Give him a shot.
And many times I'm like, here, pick a song. No, I don't. I just want to play. So he picked Easy Lover, Phil Collins,
We
and
used to
Philadelphia.
play
Used to play that.
Awesome.
So we're gonna do that, and he picked.
That's not easy, by the way.
No, it's not.
No,
I've
it's
already
not.
started listening to it, and he picked "You're the One That I Want" from Grease,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, crowd will love it or they'll hate it. We'll give it a shot, But I come up with a list of what I think we ought to play. I give it to the band. They veto or accept, and we just kind of negotiate it a little bit, and then ultimately I have to step in and say, okay, well then we're not doing this, but we're doing this and this and this.
Well, everybody has their different. Like Jamie has a knack. I mean, and Jamie is. Look, I'm in a band full of, and we always relate this like football drafts. I'm in a band full of first-round draft picks.
Right.
I'm an undrafted free agent in this band, basically. All right, nobody's gonna pick me for a top-round pick. He's a first-round pick. Billy, Jamie, and Steve Lapine. They're all guys who, you want to start a band, you want to start with those guys. But Jamie has a knack of finding songs that, like when we did Never Been Any. I'll never forget this. Head East, Never Been Any Reason.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, who the hell's gonna like that song? And we've been still, it's got shelf. That's shelf life.
That's shelf
we
life.
play that shit for
We've
10
been
years.
playing- yeah, we have
every
been
once in a while, and it's been unbelievable.
Sometimes it's the stuff you don't expect,
He picked the Kings of Leon tune, "Sex on Fire."
which their crowd loved it.
Just played it this weekend, first time.
loved it.
Killed it. Meanwhile, I pick a song, it's shit the bed. But
Yeah.
it's
That's how it
what?
works.
And we've all been there. I mean, for me, the Kings of Leon, not my favorite. Not what I would call a bass player song.
he wanted to do Rosanna. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking, fuck, I can't play that
I can't
shit.
play that. Yeah, you used to, credit to you. You spent 18 months learning that.
Okay, let's not get
Well,
get
and
carried
the,
away.
and the
Right,
drum
he's been-
part's awesome.
Maybe 9 to 12 months, but okay.
The
You
drum
spent
part's
some
awesome.
time
Yeah.
learning.
The drum part's. I'm
and-
working on my
and
Rosanna shuffle now, so
did
that
it.
is not an easy drum part at all.
No.
At all. Now, what's your favorite ones to do? What's your favorite songs on the list that like you want to play those?
The challenge. First of all, the challenging ones are great. So Rosanna is challenging because,
Oh yeah.
especially if it's later in the night, it's really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
First set's a piece of cake, So I like playing that shuffle, but I like to see. I love playing Dirty Laundry.
Yeah. ZZ Top.
No,
Don Henley.
Don
Don
Henley.
Henley.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just, and it's nothing. It's literally 4 on the floor. But that boom, bap, boom. It's because I love singing the parts and I love the groove. So it's so simple, but I love it. I really love playing that song, and I like the
It has a
Rosanna's
cool.
fun.
It has a cool pulse.
And what
Yeah.
about you?
Probably. There's a couple of songs that are in our rotation right now. I'm enjoying singing. One of them's "Animal" by Def Leppard.
Mm-hmm.
I am having a good time with that.
That's a great song.
Another one that was a bucket list item for me was "Take It to the Limit" by
Yeah.
the Eagles.
That's a great song.
And that was not easy either.
And that's deceptively hard song to play.
Really deceptively.
We worked on that.
It's a slow
It
waltz.
was not.
Well,
you
I know
talked-
we played it
You talked
many moons
before
ago.
about being prepared for rehearsal and then just coming into rehearsal and slapping it together, and it didn't. We didn't fall out of bed for that one.
Yeah, we have some of those too.
It took some work. The Boston, the Kansas, the kind of what you would refer to as showstopper songs are always fun.
I mean, we do a point of no return after "Carry On Your Wayward Son."
Yep.
Kind of medleyed that together.
And who plays Point of No Return?
Right.
So screw it. Let's play Point of No Return, and it's enjoyable because these guys are both. Again, we have 2 lead singers really, and
And to that point, sorry to interrupt you, but to
No.
that point, I think probably some of my favorite onstage moments are when we have 3 and 4 part gang.
Oh,
what you
sure.
would call barbershop style harmonies going at the same time.
Well, that's one of the highlights of a
Those-
Skin Deep show is
that's-
the vocal harmony
And
and
really,
the
the
vocals.
approach
That's the
to
difference.
the
Right.
approach to putting those together really is a barbershop style.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets a part, and you sing that part like it's the only part.
Right.
You sing that
That's
part
your
like
job.
it's the lead. That is your job.
That's your job.
And that's how that's how you do that.
And we've said, and I've said this before, Gif said, everybody can play the song. Everybody can play New Girl Now, okay, by Honeymoon Suite. You play it every once in a while. But we do the harmonies, and when we learn a song, we do the chorus first. We'll say, all right, let's do, with just the bass behind it. Let's do the harmonies first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to that point, too, that when you talk about New Girl Now,
And that's one of
New
my
Girl
favorite
Now
harmonies.
is a 2-part harmony. We're doing 4
Right.
on that one.
Right.
You know, just because
We talk about that a lot.
it lended
It's like,
itself to, oh, this has the opportunity of being this monster
I
thing.
agree.
So why not?
And things like Fat Bottom Girls.
Right.
4-part harmony. Oh, I mean, just, it's, so that kind of, when we do the harmonies really right, I get chills because I know we actually work on them.
Me too.
That's what sounds good.
I mean, we work on it. We know that people are going to say, oh shit. I mean, yes, anybody can play New Girl Now, but can you sing that harmony like that? And or the Duran Duran song we play that Billy sings his ass off on
Which
it.
Duran Duran are you doing?
Ordinary World.
Nice.
With the harmonies. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, and Jamie's adding the swells behind it. I mean, it's just great shit. And then when you have somebody like Steve we're a cover band, so let's play it like the record unless we're totally going to change it.
Right.
So you're either playing it like the record, or you're making it your own. So, we have a really good mix of people in there, and all are, these guys are extremely talented. I'm speaking for them, as them. But it's great. No, I'm having fun still. When I start not having fun is my time.
Then it's time to hang it up.
Yeah.
100%. I get that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I've taken a ton of your time already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
It's
really
gone long,
appreciate.
hasn't
No,
it?
not at all. I'm sure everybody's super interested in all of it. Again, it's not often you get one of the bigger bands to come on and say, well, hey, look, here's what works for us, here's what doesn't, here's how we're doing things. I think there's a lot of good info there. I know you're teasing me for Gif being my favorite member. It's exactly what you said, though. I always like the vocals.
Oh, yeah.
I can play the drums. I can't sing worth a damn, but I always like the vocals. And so that happens to me with a lot of bands. In Torn, when Tony was with them on bass, was the same thing. The guy could just sing like it was, and you make your stuff look absolutely effortless. My favorite is still O'Sherry.
I don't do O'Shea.
No, you used to. You did it once.
I used to do it.
I know, and that is still my favorite.
Well, it's interesting about, he really is amazing because I have to hear this every night we play. But sometimes when he's struggling, and he goes, I don't have it, but I'll try. He can duck. When you know how some guys can duck.
Yep.
He ducks it, and it still sounds good.
Still
so
sounds
he's
fine.
not hitting here, but he's getting somewhere in that chord and make it. I go, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I was like, when I'm struggling, I sound like shit. I'm squealing. I'm taking the spray and doing everything, doing a shot, everything I can, or say I'm not playing it. He ducks things and still sounds great.
Well, and
Because you're never going to be 100%.
All of the guys in the band, it's always fun when they're doing it. Like Jamie's having fun when he's playing
Always.
the song. You're having
Entertainer.
fun when you're singing the song. I mean, all of you, and so that's part of what it is the effortlessness of like, we're gonna go do this thing that would take you guys 11 months to figure out, and we're gonna do it and it's nothing. And they don't see the behind the scenes of the 3 months of rehearsals, 4 shows where you got it wrong,
Yeah.
whatever. They just see that now it's effortless.
Well, and it's also, maybe it didn't take 3 months of rehearsal. Maybe it was just one rehearsal. But that discounts the 30 years that,
Right.
or the 40 years playing your instrument to get to a point where you can listen to a song and just play it.
Right. And the chemistry comes in there for sure as well. I sat in with
100%.
Gin and Tonics on Friday, which was a lot of fun. But if Dave looks at me, I don't know why.
Right.
I don't know. He's happy,
What are you
he's
looking at?
sad,
Right.
he liked what I did, he hated what I did. I mean, all I know is the guitar player's looking at me. So you need that chemistry to and plus, you know what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Even if you've played a song the first time, like
He
you know each
completes me.
other's style, he completes you.
Well,
Even though he makes fun of me, he completes
But there's some off the cuff stuff that we do a lot of off the cuff stuff too. We never know what's going to happen. And I tell you, we talked about the other night where a friend of mine brought that guitar up there, and his father died of cancer. Like to hear his guitars played. Frenchie played it. He played a Zeppelin song. We played with it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't even know. Anyway, so after that, all of a sudden, Frenchie started playing Johnny Be Good, which of course we've been playing since we were 15 years old.
Sure.
But because he had an old Gretsch guitar, he
It
said,
just
I don't want to
fit.
put this down right now.
It just
and
fit.
And then he started singing it.
And now you're playing it.
So now we're playing. So it's just off the cuff stuff, and then of course, I know that Billy always gives me the hairy eyeball sometimes because he doesn't know what I'm going to say sometimes in between songs, and I don't know what I'm going to say in between songs.
I'm well aware.
It just
comes out.
It just happens, I know.
Well, I could keep you here for months.
No, I know.
I know I could. I really appreciate you making the time to do it. First time for you,
My pleasure.
almost a co-host at this point for Lee, so that's awesome. I'm glad you guys can do it.
Always fun.
Definitely check them out at Dexter's Lake Mary this weekend. It's going to be a killer show like it always is. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you real soon.
Thanks.